of me because I'm not an ass kisser of nobody.
Yes, you are. You suck the dick of black people right now.
Hey y'all, welcome to Working Class Rich. Hey, listen, I got something exciting to share with you. Unless you've been under a rock, man, there is a interview on the 5150 podcast show. You know, the show that's hosted by Corey Holcomb, man. Oh, that show was lit, man. A couple of days ago, it was lit, man. And if you haven't seen it, I don't know how you haven't seen it, but apparently, as I watched the video, Corey Holcomb and Anton Daniels are about to come to blows, man. I could not believe what actually set them off, you know. And I have a clue about what was the real issue. But, you know, my opinion is Corey Holcomb actually exposed Anton Daniels. He exposed something in him that really was telling, you know, when you watch the video. But hey, listen, today we're going to look at reactions to people who have saw clips of that show or even the whole video. And let's see what side you fall on. Do you think Corey was right, or do you think Anton was right? I mean, let's find out, man. Let's check out these reactions, man. Corey Holcomb exposes Anton Daniels, man. I mean, check it out. See if I'm right. Let's go.
Respectfully, what y'all wanted Anton Daniels to punch Corey Holcomb on the interview, then get sued for an assault, and then the case is proven because it's done in 4K? You got to think smarter. Anton Daniels just showed you the difference between two men that's the same age. Anton Daniels kept his composure. He stated facts. He stated himself correctly, and he never once came personal towards what Corey was saying, even when he felt like Corey was wrong. Now, Corey, what did he do on his end? He was being belligerent. He was yelling. He was being very much childish. He was cursing. He wasn't keeping his composure. He was very much emotional. You got to be more like Anton Daniels in a heated situation than Corey, because a nigga like Corey will get sent to jail or be in a grave. A nigga like Anton Daniels is going to be able to cool off in the car, go back home to his lady and his kids. You got to make selective decisions as a man. But just understand, when you see shit like that, never go the emotional route. Always keep your composure. Walk away with your head high. Because
y'all really said that Anton was in the right with Corey Holcomb? Did y'all not watch that whole interview? Because I did. Y'all didn't watch the full episode? Anton disrespected him so bad on his own platform. And Anton, he from my city. But he was wrong. You don't disrespect no grown man on his own. First of all, he threw a whole lot of shots at Corey before it got heated, and Corey just let it roll off his back. Corey was really kissing his ass. Before it blew up, he was really kissing Anton's behind. He was trying to be professional. But then, see, I know how to clock somebody that's rage baiting me and that's trying to set up a play so they can get views. That's exactly what Anton did. He was poking the bear. Anton said, I studied you. I studied you. Before it got heated, he told him to his face, I studied you. So if you study me and you know I talk about backdooria all the time, you know that I find certain things to be disrespectful, and that's no shade to the LGBTQ, okay, community. But when you say to another man that he is performing fellatio on a man, how many men gonna let another man tell you to your face that you sucking? How many? And you in my house talking to me like that? Oh my God, I'm gonna break down everything, all the backpedaling and pussy popping, because I'm so tired of y'all. This is annoying. And the people that thought that Anton was in the right are people who ain't never had no platform before. You ain't never did nothing. You on the outside looking in. You don't even know how this stuff work. Talking about something here. Oh, Corey was being sensitive. No, Corey let a whole lot of stuff slide that I wouldn't let slide.
That Anton Daniels situation got me looking at people crazy. Cause like, I mean, my man called you what he told you whatever he told you. You caught an attitude. You want to sit next to him. You're like, okay, come sit next to me. Ain't gonna change nothing. You sit next to my man. You say this again. He already said it one time. He don't need to say it again. You said, say something. And then you was like, he said, man, you doing this for the cameras. I don't care about this, bro. We could turn these cameras off and take it to the back. Corey Holcomb at no time addressed that, said nothing to that. At that point, what Anton Daniels said was right. You doing that for the cameras. Like, if a man tells you and you already supposed to be offended, that, hey, man, you can turn the cameras off and go to the back. If you don't want to go to the back, I don't want to hear you talk tough no more. Like, what are we talking about? He already told you go to the back where it's just you two alone as grown men. Not with a crowd and a camera crew where you acting tough. Corey Holcomb's a lame, bro. He's soft. And a lot of people, Anton Daniels rubbed the wrong way. Because he got married, he got one wife, he got kids, he don't have baby mamas, and he addressed those issues. Corey Holcomb got thousands of baby mamas. He ain't been with one woman, can't keep a consistent relationship. Probably rubbed dude the wrong way, so he came off with the wrong energy. It's just that simple, but this culture be praising goofy stuff. Y'all love the hieroglyphics, y'all don't like real action. Everything you seen in that interview is all show. But when a man said we could turn this off and we could go to the back, after that, that's me and you as a man going one-on-one to somewhere. Me and you by ourselves. No, none of that. Once he didn't answer that, man, it was over. I don't want to hear nothing from you. Don't talk tough again. No more.
Y'all, I don't know this man from a can of paint. Okay, I ain't never even seen this man before. He ain't never even been on my For You page. But apparently, he knows me. He took my video and made a video about me on YouTube, which was weird because why didn't you just stitch my video? I mean, maybe he didn't want to give me the views. I don't know. Maybe he make more money over there on YouTube than he do on TikTok because he got a TikTok. I looked him up. But anyway, he goes on to make this whole video about my financial irresponsibility and I'm a single person and I should be able to make my money stretch and you know, I'm driving a luxury car and I got this big fancy house and all of this stuff. He came up with this whole big ordeal off of a 3-minute video. I ain't never seen this man before a day in my life. I don't know him from a can of paint. That goes to show you, don't believe everything you see on the internet or hear on the internet because people do not be knowing what the fuck they be talking about. He is a good example of that. I didn't even have the energy to scroll through the other videos that he had on there because clearly he's just a yapper that just be talking out the side of his neck. But y'all really be watching and listening to shit like this? Because I can't. That type of stuff irritates me real bad.
The thing a lot of people need to take from the Corey Holcomb, Anton Daniels thing is this. Corey Holcomb is very good at pushing people away. Corey Holcomb is how do I say this? The barrier between him normally and him emotionally is paper thin. Paper thin. It does not take much to set this man off. The number one thing that Corey Holcomb does not like is to be called out. He does not like that shit. You watch every single 5150 show and all that shit. Coming from a person from like 2015 to 2019, I used to watch them shits every fucking Wednesday, and I think they switched to another day. But like, you know, I'm in the shower and I'm watching them, you know, listening to them boys talk about it. I'm just like doing shit around the house and I just got it playing. I'm listening to what they're saying because it was some really entertaining shit. Kind of fell off in 2020 with the whole Stephen A. Smith thing because Corey Holcomb was presented with an opportunity to basically stand on what he said he was going to stand on, which is how he truly felt about Stephen A. Smith. They meet up. This motherfucker taking a picture of him cheesing and smiling with a piece of fried chicken. That right there was like the turning point for everything that ultimately happened with Corey Holcomb going forward. Now, he, in his defense, he was like, oh, you know, what am I supposed to do? Fight? And da-da-da-da. Nobody wants you to fight. Nobody wants you to do any of these things. But it's like, when you talk about a person with such passion and such intensity, and then you cheesing and smiling with them, people look at you differently, right? We don't want you to fight them. We just want you to be like, okay, he's there, I'm over here. I can't really fuck with him like that. Now, if y'all work things out, perfectly fine. You work things out with him, and then you go back to talking shit. Like, what the fuck are we talking anyway? Anton Daniels is one of the most logical motherfuckers I've ever seen on social media. I don't agree with everything he says. You shouldn't agree with everything he says. If you fuck with me, you shouldn't agree with everything I say. We should have our differences of opinion, especially when it comes to sports. Now, in Corey's defense, Anton probably could have worded things a little differently. He probably could have worded a few things a little differently, but he did what the internet does every single day, which is it puts a mask of who you really are in front of you, and basically forces you to deal with it. And that mask is usually things that you've said, or things that you said you were going to, and things that you've said that you were going to do, and all of these things. And if you didn't do it, well, here it is. And when Ryan Davis went on the 5150 show with Corey Holcomb all those years ago, he put into words perfectly what I felt for a very long time, which is, he said that Corey Holcomb is an older guy who's very good at pushing people away. Look at all the relationships that Corey Holcomb had with Zoe, with a couple other people that I can't really remember. The only person that's left is Dee. She's the only one left consistently. And of course, Craig, but I haven't seen Craig in any of the clips recently, so I don't know what's going on with that. Hopefully they're still all right. But Corey Holcomb does a very good job of pushing these people away, especially when he feels threatened, especially when he feels like he's being called out or anything like that. So you take a guy like Anton, who is very factual. He will bring up some facts. He will say things that is very uncomfortable for you to hear, but it's the truth of what you either said or how you represent yourself or how you carry yourself. Again, go back to what I said in the beginning. Corey Holcomb's, barrier between him being emotional and regular is a sheet of fucking paper. It's weak. He wants to go outside and fight. He want to do this. He want to yell. He want to scream. We grown ass men. I'm not yelling and screaming with you. I'm not doing none of this shit with you now. If we want to fight, ain't gonna be no cameras and nothing. We can go to the back and we can settle this like old school motherfuckers, but most people don't want to do that shit. Most people want to talk like they're gonna do that shit, but most people don't want to do that shit for real. Everybody's scared to fight, and that shouldn't even be the end result of a conversation that you have with a person anyway. I digress. So regardless of the conversation, it could have been handled a completely different way. But you notice Anton Daniels did something that I think a lot of people should definitely do. If you do not see any type of positive reconciliation at the end of what you're doing, you just simply get up and fucking leave, right?
Hey man, Anton Daniels didn't want no smoke with Corey Holcomb. And let me say this, whether it's your wife or whether it's a woman that you brought along with you to an interview or wherever y'all going, right? If you let a man call that woman a bitch, you're soft. All that, you supposed to keep composure and all that. Bro, if you don't go hard for your women, whether it's your wife, your girlfriend at the time, your goddamn cousin that you just happen to bring along with you, you let a man call her the bitch and you don't do nothing, yeah, you soft. Point blank, period. Ain't no ifs, ands, and buts about it. You don't let no man call the woman that you're supposed to be responsible for, or the women you're supposed to be responsible for, a bitch. So all you do is trying to defend them. You soft too. Because what that tells me is that you'll let a man call your daughter a bitch. You'll let a man call your mama a bitch, your auntie. You'll let a man call any woman that you're supposed to be responsible for a bitch, and you just gonna sit there and tuck your tail and walk off and not do nothing. Yeah, you are weak. Protector's my ass, boy.
Have y'all been keeping up with the Corey Holcomb, Anton Daniels situation? So if you're not familiar, but you're familiar with the people, I'll give a quick rundown. So apparently, Anton went on Corey Holcomb's show. I don't know what they were there to discuss, but ultimately, Anton said something that Corey took with extreme disrespect, or he took as extreme disrespect, and it almost came to fisticuffs. And I'm not necessarily a fan of either one, but if I had to choose one side to take, I'll probably be Team Corey, and here's why. Corey's point, he brought up the fact that Anton never criticizes other groups as harshly as he does Black people. And it's fine to criticize Black people, but what's your solution? Like, if you're just criticizing just to criticize, like, what's the point of that? Like, it's really no point. It's not productive at all. Like, it's just for the clicks and views and fine, whatever. But when Corey called it out, it got nasty, and it almost got physical. I don't think either one of them wanted it to, but I think they were both willing to if it came to that. But said all that to say, what do y'all think about it, and whose side are you on? Which team are you on?
And that right there was the difference between niggas and African Americans. Corey Holcomb and Anton Daniels last night was the example between what a nigga is and what an African.
Nephews, Anton Daniels and Corey Holcomb. Be like Anton. Do not be like Corey Holcomb. I actually was disappointed. and Corey, because he was belligerent, he was loud, hey, he was standoffish, he was ready to scrap. Anton Daniels handled that like a king. Hey, and if y'all don't know these two gentlemen, these are just regular people, social media personalities. I follow them. A lot of people follow them. Corey, more for entertainment. Anton, I like his perspective on business, stocks, politics, and things of that nature. But he really handled himself well. Shout out, peace and love to both of y'all. Tighten up, Corey.
Anton Daniels and Corey Holcomb, they put on a show. All right, first of all, it was a phenomenal conversation. I know I honestly didn't get out of it what I wanted out of it. I wanted a substantive conversation on both sides, but that didn't happen. They ended up calling the podcast short, like quitting, because both of them was pump faking. Both of them was pump faking. Let me explain to y'all what that means. Corey got pissed off at Anton Daniels because Anton Daniels wouldn't say anything negative about white men. While at the same time, Anton Daniels was trying to teach him about what was happening in this country with liberal white women. And he was moving at his own pace. Corey Holcomb felt like he was kissing the white man's ass. So he said that to him. You are kissing the white man's ass. Anton Daniels said, nah, you sucking the dick of black people. Corey Holcomb said, you ain't gonna say that about me. You ain't gonna say that. Then he told the lady to move out the way. And he stood up in his face. He sat down in his face, said, say I suck dick again. Say it, because I don't do that. I promise you I don't do that. He was really defending the fact that he don't give head for some reason. Not realizing, bro, you said something about me, I said something about you. This is what people do in conversations. But he got pissed. And he said, Anton, say that again. I bet you won't say it again. Here's where Anton Daniels started pump faking. Anton Daniels didn't say it again. But he showed respect to the podcast. He said, you know what? I came here for a conversation. I ain't come here to get physical with nobody. But if you want to get physical, we can cut this podcast just for a minute. Put the mics down. Go out back and shoot a fair one. Corey Holcomb didn't want to hear that. So Corey Holcomb pump fake. Because at first he was the big bad wolf, ready to whoop his ass. He was all up in his face. Say I suck dick again. Say it and watch what happened, nigga. Anton Daniels was like, nah, you just doing it for the internet. Because if you weren't, you'll put down the microphone, go with me out back. We can handle that and come back and finish our conversation. Let's not mess the money up. Corey Holcomb was like, nah, say it. Because Corey wanted to put on the show. That's what it was about for him. But he tried to make it seem like it was about manhood. Let me tell you something. I'm going to talk about this ad nauseum on my live stream. I'm on a trip right now helping my daughter move. But yeah, both of them was pump faking like a mug, bruh. They was like two dogs barking at each other that didn't want to fight from the opposite sides of the gate. And then somebody moved the gate out the way. And they both was like... Also, shout out to Corey Holcomb for dry snitching. Yeah, he saw that Anton Daniels pulled up with somebody and he asked if somebody can get on his show. And he tried to dry snitch as if something wrong was afoot. Yeah, we're gonna talk about all that, man.
At the end of the day, Corey and Anton can handle their motherfucking self. If they get into a little altercation or whatever, they grown men. Both of them called each other out their name. Now, Anton might have went crazy, but shit, I don't like being called no bitch. So at the end of the day, it is what it is. Everybody got their preference, but you can't not disrespect if you disrespected somebody else. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, if they do have a fist fight, they grown men. They ain't doing it on camera. They got into it and say, we'll handle it. Now, I don't know if they squabbled or not, but shit, man, it get like that sometimes. Squabble.
We rather do that. Look, it's like y'all don't want nothing. Don't nobody want no altercate. We men. Sometimes shit gonna get out of hand. You can't solve everything just talking through every goddamn thing. It ain't gonna happen. Somebody gotta get their ass whooped. Like, come on, man. I grew up fighting and being cool after. Like, that's how.
I gotta give props where props is given. Anton Daniels stood his ground. He stood his ground, even though he was rage baiting. He was rage baiting that whole thing against Corey. But he stood his ground, called him out, and said, hey, let's fight. Corey got up, grabbed the mic, and sat back down. These are two old niggas arguing. These are two old niggas arguing. So, of course, they're not going to, want to fight and stuff like that. They might pull a hamstring or something.
And on the whole Anton Daniels and Corey Holcomb situation, look, Corey Holcomb didn't do anything wrong in my opinion. Like, he heard some things that he didn't appreciate, an expression that he didn't appreciate. And he said, look, I don't like that. You need to watch your mouth. Me personally, I agree with that, bro. Like, you got to stand on business sometimes, bro. You got to apply pressure. You feel? We got to turn up the temperature sometimes because people will say certain things and try to get over on you. You got to draw a line in the sand and be like, hey, look, you need to stop that right there. Like, no, sir, certain things you're just not going to say towards me. Certain things aren't going to be said in my vicinity, bro. People think they could just say whatever they want. Like, no, bro, like, that's not the case. Not everybody's just kumbaya, like, some people are willing to take it there. Me personally, that type of stuff doesn't happen to me because I'm respectful and I expect people to be respectful in return. But
man, that whole Anton Daniels and Corey Holcomb shit is just, I don't know. But I just see a video of Anton Daniels. He back at the house now talking about he would have beat the shit out of Corey Holcomb. Save all of that, brother, because the thing is, neither one of y'all did anything to each other but cuss each other out. Y'all parted ways and left. Nobody knows who would have beat the shit out of who. You know what I'm saying? The only way we would have known that is had y'all started throwing hands right then and there. So, let bygones be bygones. Y'all two motherfuckers don't like each other and don't fuck with each other. That's what I'm all about, man. Sometimes peace ain't about liking motherfuckers, is just not fucking with them. Don't fuck with them no more, man.
That Corey Holcomb, Anton Daniels conversation is the microcosmic example of what happens between black people conversing online every day. And I like Anton and Corey. I don't agree with every point that they make, but Corey was obviously outmatched this time and leading with emotion. Anton's trying to have a sensible conversation with Corey, and it was a no-go. And, between two men, I will say that anytime words of disrespect is used, it can always escalate to violence. So I think there were points where Anton didn't have to do that. You can just have an intellectual battle. But even in the intellectual battle, I just think that Corey, and that's been my problem with Corey before, he's just super emotional. And I don't think you can have sensible conversations with emotional people. And that's the representation of most of our people. Anton represents those of us that would like to approach it from a logical standpoint. Or maybe, not go with the pack. And then you get all these accusations of you being a coon and blah, 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 blah. That's it. That's the comment. That is essentially what happens between us as black people online all the time.
Yo, what up, though, my people? One thing I hate seeing online is black people going at each other. I think it's ridiculous. I think it needs to stop, especially amongst black men. So for those of you that don't know, Anton Daniels and Corey Holcomb had a shouting match is what it really was online. Now, as somebody that has a podcast, is on multiple platforms, I understand how people can get into it. But there's a way that you handle that. I also understand that podcasting, unfortunately, has become the new acting. A lot of shit is very performative. If those two gentlemen really wanted to get into it, they would have fought. And there would have been nothing in between them but space and opportunity to do so. And unfortunately, we playing a numbers game. People will do anything to get those numbers up. and we just in a space where, I guess, cussing each other out, acting like things resulting to violence or things resulting to violence is the way to go. I'm not with it, unless it's something to go with it about, for real. But if those dudes really, really wanted to scrap, it would have happened. Now, the one thing I didn't like about the clip, because all I did was watch the clip, I am going to watch the entire episode. I don't like when people have to shout out where they're from. Like in that clip, Anton shouted out he was from Detroit. So? Hey, I'm from Detroit too. That doesn't mean anything. Corey's from Chicago. That doesn't mean anything. If anybody would have got their ass whooped, they would have got their ass whooped. And it wouldn't have had nothing to do with where they were from. Now, unless Anton was saying, I'm from Detroit, as in, I'm from Detroit, so you getting in my face don't scare me, then I understand. But it's a lot of people that make that mistake by saying where they're from as if they can't get beat in a fight. You win some, you lose some. That's how it go. I hope to see in the future that, you know, these guys are able to team up and really make something happen. You know, I'm all for having a good old debate, but nothing has to result in, you know, telling somebody SMD, and you know what I'm saying? That's crazy. Like, it's just a certain way you go about it. Even if you about to be performative to run the numbers up, you ain't got to talk stupid to nobody else and be super disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? You can get your point across. Real men know how to get their point across without being ridiculously disrespectful. But I hope, you know, after this, they able to team up and collaborate on something else. But that ain't it. But I mean, I get it. Hey, like I said, we in the numbers game. Run it up. Whatever that looks like for you. That's not the type of bag I want to get, but I understand it. That's the climate is. That's what the climate is now. But get in the comments. Let me know what y'all think, man. Till next time. Indeed.
Who and why in the world would these two individuals get on a podcast or whatever? They both problematic. They both, you know, it, to say the least, them getting into it is not surprising. Corey Holcomb and who? Hold on. Anton Daniels. That's who it is. I couldn't think of that man's name to save my life. But Corey Holcomb and Anton Daniels got on a podcast together. Them two individuals. You don't put those type of individuals in the same room together. Because
I don't watch Corey Holcomb or Anton Daniels. Like, I'm sure they both have podcasts. I just don't. I'm not saying there's any. I like a lot of their content. Don't get me wrong. Both of them. I think they are, Corey Holcomb specifically, very, very funny. Anton Daniels, I see clips of him sometimes, and the clips are pretty agreeable here and there. A lot of things I don't agree with. I don't want y'all to start. But I just saw the clip where, to me, seemed like Corey Holcomb was the aggressor, right? And you got people talking about, oh, look, in real life, when somebody pressed him, he backed down and he walked off the podcast or whatever. And I just want to like, in real life, what do you think that men who have stuff to lose do? I made a video the other day, how to do stitch it, where a guy was saying that if somebody disrespects you in public and you don't fight them, you're a bitch. And I was like, well, no. Like, if somebody trying to fight me and I got distance between me and him and all that's going on, I'm trying to get out. If I can't get out, I'm calling the police. I'm keeping my hand on that iron. I'm not trying to fight nobody, bro. I don't know how many of y'all have actually ever been in fights. I have. Yo, you could beat somebody convincingly. You're gonna wake up with aches and pains if they get their shit off on you too. Like, and also, y'all know me, bro. Nobody, no random stranger is gonna get me off my rocker. It really doesn't make sense, in my personal opinion, to fight a total stranger. That, in my world, that could just never happen. I don't go to the club. I'm not in places where, you know, like, it would.
So did Corey Holcomb and Anton Daniels fight for real? Where was this on the show yesterday? What's today? Wednesday. Was this on the show yesterday? One thing I do know. I don't know why y'all think comedians can't fight. I don't know why y'all think comedians scary. What the hell? Corey Holcomb is from Chicago. And when everybody want to say something bad about America, what they bring up? Chicago, right? And Chicago is all that they say that it is. And Chicago is mad gangster. But did they fight? Did Corey Holcomb and Antoine Daniels actually fight yesterday? Because I'm just seeing clips now. But I love Corey. I've been going to any show. He come to Milwaukee, I go holla at Corey. Not literally, but I go spend my money to see this man. But did they fight?
I want to show you this 1 minute video, man, throwing my opinion in on why I said that Corey Holcomb exposed Anton Daniels, man. He exposed something in him, man, that I'd never seen before. And I've been following Anton Daniels a while now, as well as Corey Holcomb on the 5150 show. I've been following them both. But there was a question that Corey said, a statement that Corey said to Anton in terms of Anton doesn't go as hard on white people as he do black people. You know, he basically was saying Anton kisses white people's ass, right? You know, so Anton, you know, it hit him in such a way that Anton begins to fire back at Corey, man, but he fired back in I believe a below the belt way, man. But the way he fired back let me know that the statement or the question that Corey said to Anton, it exposed something, man. It exposed something. But you got to see the clip. Let's watch this 1 minute clip right fast. Let's check this out.
Me because I'm not an ass kisser of nobody.
Yes, you are. You suck the dick of black people right now. You doing the easy shit. What you do, let me tell you what you do.
Nah,
see, ain't nobody
let me tell you something, homie.
Now, this is just a 1 minute clip, but let's go.
So
you doing it right now.
I don't suck dick,
You doing it right now.
Homie, believe me when I tell you, I don't do that. I don't do that.
Listen.
So don't come at me with no dick sucking shit.
I'm gonna give you the same energy you give me.
Let's switch seats.
Let's switch seats. I'm with it.
Homie, I don't do no dick sucking shit. I'm a motherfucking man. I don't do no dick sucking shit.
I don't give a fuck about none
Well,
of it.
I tell you what, watch that dick sucking shit, cause that'll go bad.
Call it what you want.
I don't do no dick sucking,
you
homie.
say a lot of shit that
So who do you think is wrong or right? You know, put it in the comments.
I don't give a fuck about what you talking
Hey, homie, I tell you what.
I'm right here.
Don't put no dick sucking shit.
Oh, this is rough. This is rough. This is rough.
Suck a dick again.
I'm right here.
This is rough.
All right, that's what I'm saying.
I'm a respect.
Okay, so when you look at that, you can see shots was fired on both sides. You know, you can see both guys were really jabbing each other with certain things that they said to one another, man. But again, if you watch the full video, you will see that Corey asked Anton a statement. He said a statement to him, you know, and Anton, you know, began to talk about women's lib and those type of things. And Anton was making some great points. And the fact of the matter, I feel like where it really turned left. Now, the show was already heated. There was already tension, man, from the jump. You can already feel it in the air. But what really turned the corner for both of them was when Corey asked him that question as to why you're always dodging questions. You know, you always dodging questions. You know, you never come back to it. And why are you so hard on blacks? But then you won't say anything negative about whites, you know. And he basically was like, you know, you kissing white people's ass, you know. And then Anton comes back and says, you know, I mean, the fighting words that you say to a man, you know, you heard it, you know, and I'm thinking like, wow, I can't believe he said to this guy on the show. Like I said, both guys are taking shots at each other, you know. But in that clip, what that clip don't show you is that after that fact, Corey Holcomb begins to try to make up, begins to try to say, hey, man, you know, it's all good, you know. We cool, just don't tell me, you know, don't invite me down to your private parts, you know, man. Let's just be cool, you know. He tried to smooth it over, man. He tried to really get, you know, back to a state of professionalism, man. But Anton would not let it go, man. You could see that this dude's disposition was as starchy as his shirt, man. Do you hear what I'm saying? It was starchy, dude. You know, he just couldn't get past it, man, because something hit him in his heart that he knew that Corey exposed something about him that it's obvious that he didn't want it to be exposed. And you know how, like, you know, somebody expose a part of your nakedness, you know, and it calls you to react a certain way. You know, Anton could not relax anymore, man. And like I said, the show went DEFCON 5 from there, man. I mean, it got even worse than the clip that I just showed you, you know. But what I was wondering, because at one point in time, you know, Anton tells him, hey man, listen, we could put the mics down and just go outside, you know. And you know, while the camera was rolling, you know, nothing really happened, you know. So I'm thinking, man, maybe they just let it go, you know. But you know, they both left the show irate. They both left the show angry, you know. So I'm thinking, I mean, maybe they just parted ways, man, and never the twain shall meet, right? You know. But then I stumbled on this other video, man, that shows that something potentially, allegedly, may have went on when they went outside together, man. Maybe there's an eyewitness that says, hey, there was an after show, man, that y'all didn't get to see. Hey, listen, check this out.
Breaking news, Corey Holcomb and Anton Daniels just fought after the show. They still fought. Hit this follow button. Let's get into it. So they supposedly had made up or at least stopped arguing on the show, but after the show, they went in the back. Did y'all see it? Hit this follow button. Stay with me. Finna get. I was there. They invited me just in case there was some breaking news and there was some breaking. So they go out back. Anton like, nigga, you sucking dick. Corey Holcomb say, all right, nigga, bow. Punched him in his shit. Anton fell down, right? Got up though. Started swinging. They started tussling. These two big ass niggas tussling like that. Pause. They went from swinging to choking each other out. You know, I had to get my phone and oh shit, black men, we gotta chill out. Our testosterone be all the way up there. Relax. If you can't handle these conversations, do not start them. If you a fire starter, do not start them. While they fighting, security came and shit started getting wild, and then all y'all hit this follow button, drop in the comments, let me know if y'all seen this shit. Go ahead, it's all on the Shade Room. Go check that shit out. I gotta go. It's all over YouTube too. Hit that follow button.